Parallel lines are two lines with the same slope but different y-intercepts. The equations of the two lines shown at the top here are y equals 2x plus 1 for the one on the left, and y equals 2x minus 3 for the one on the right. As you can see, they have the same slope, which means they're going at the same basic angle in the same direction. And notice that they have different b's, which means that they will intersect the y-axis at different points. That's how we know they're parallel. Parallel just means that they maintain the same distance between them forever as they travel. They're not getting closer together, they're not getting farther apart. Another unusual case of parallel lines could be if we have two vertical lines. Another case would be if we had two horizontal lines. These would be considered parallel lines. So the equation of the line on the left is x equals 1. It's a vertical line. The equation of the one on the right is x equals 3. In my example, the lower line could be, for example, y equals 1, and the top one could be y equals 4. Those are parallel lines. Perpendicular lines, on the other hand, they are not going at the same angle. They're going to cross. Not only will they cross, but they cross each other perpendicularly, which means at an angle of what's called 90 degrees, a right angle like the corner of a page of paper. And they cut the area into 4 perfect 90-degree angles, which are called right angles. Now it's a little tougher to tell from the equation if lines are truly perpendicular or not. The way we tell is we want their slopes to be negative reciprocals of each other. So while one has a positive slope, the other one needs to have a negative slope. Not only that, but they can't have the same size number of slope all the time. For example, if one was sloped up very steeply with y equals 2x, then if we were to let the other one be y equals negative 2x, they wouldn't truly be perpendicular because this angle is bigger than this one. Turns out that we actually have to have the number flipped as a fraction. So instead of y equals negative 2x, we would actually want negative 1/2 x. Because 2 is 2 over 1, for perpendiculars, we have to flip the numerator and denominator. It's called a negative reciprocal. Another case where lines are perpendicular is if we have one horizontal line and one vertical line. That would definitely cut the page into 90-degree right angles. All right, let's try it. This question says, can you find the slope of each line and then determine if the lines are truly parallel, perpendicular, or neither? So we see here that the m of this line is 2, and that is the slope. the m of this line is also 2. So they have the same slope. But what about the b values? The b is -1 for the one on the left, and it's 2 for the one on the right. So, what type are they? From the equations alone, we can determine that the lines are parallel. All right, now let's use the definition of the intercept in order to help us graph them. One of these needs to intersect the y-axis at a -1. That's right here. The other one has to intersect at a +2 value. And they have a slope of 2. Now let's make a quick table in order to graph these lines. We'll pick some different x's, and then we'll plug into their formulas. To get the y's that correspond to that. So when x is 0, the output of that first line will be, of course, -1, and the output of the second line will be 2. If you pick an x of 1 and plug that in, 2 times 1 minus 1 makes 1. And 2 times 1 plus 2 makes 4. All right, so let's plot those points. Okay. Okay, so from that I can definitely sketch the lines. Y equals 2x minus 1. Y equals 2x plus 2. Nice. All right, in this next one, we see that the m of one of the lines is 3 and the m of the other is -1/3. They're definitely not parallel lines. They don't have the same slope. But do they have negative reciprocal slopes? 3/1 versus -1/3? Yes. They have slopes which are negative reciprocals. So these lines must be perpendicular. Okay. If you do graph them, you'll see one of them starts here. The other one starts in that same place too. But one of them has a very steep slope of 3. Y equals 3x minus 1. And the other one has a very low slope. Y equals negative 1/3 x minus 1.